before you summon any spiritual being, you got to know about that entity, because you don't want to know what that entity is about when they're here present. There's many entities out here, and if you don't have a direct connection to them, you may summon something else, something that you have no idea of. And when this happens at times, some of these forces can be very demanding. Some forces can be very bloodthirsty. I know a lot of people, they are intrigued with knowing that there's powers that they can access to do their own selfish biddings. And that's fine. I don't judge that. But you have to understand that when you summon certain forces up, especially the malevolent, they're not your fucking friend. They're not here to play with you like, hey, buddy, let's go have a drink. Or let's go fucking fishing. When you let your guard down, that's when they fuck you up. When you start slipping up, that's how they fuck you up. There's this lady recently, I think I spoke about it in a live. She was dealing with some individual that didn't really know what they were doing. And I believe they hooked the chick up with these spirits in Ifa. I think they call them Iyami. And well, not Ifa. I think maybe in Nigerian culture they call it Iyami or something like that. And basically the lady went to go do the ritual, and I guess she didn't do it right. And what happened was, as she was leaving the cemetery, I think she had a stroke or something like that. Young lady. And then from there on, it was like she went to the hospital, and she told a friend of mine's, to take care of her children. And I know this is pretty random, but this is the things that can happen. I remember this one individual that went to go do a ritual, and he went to the graveyard to do the ritual. As soon as that individual left the graveyard, a car came out of nowhere and smashed into their vehicle, totaled their vehicle. This person had to go to the hospital, herniated disc. So I say this because a lot of things can go wrong, especially if you don't know what you're doing. There's been people that have done certain rituals and they never knew how to close out the ritual properly. What happened was the force stuck around, and the force started causing a lot of issues in their life. And I remember this individual, he was like 2-something, and he did a ritual for Marinette, and he became very, very skinny. Fin means very skinny. They would say that Marinette sucked him dry, and that's where you have the shesh thing in the name. Pied sesh, bois sesh, whatever a person wants to call, refer. But she sucked the individual dry, all because the individual did not know how to properly close out the ritual. Some forces, if you don't have the right understanding, you could be summoning something else. There's a lot of veves people will be using in the Western Hemisphere, in America. And I'm like, okay, they claim that this is for this type of law. Me being Haitian, I know it's not for that law. So, for me, when I look at some of the things these people are doing, I'm like, wow, you think you're summoning this, but you're actually summoning something else. You got to have understanding when doing this, because you don't want this thing to fall on yourself. You don't want it to fall on your children, and you definitely don't want it to fall on your loved ones, your family members.